primal constraints. There are two categories of constraints. The constraints for the source, constraints for the destination. These two categories of constraints, this will fulfill. And if you find the solution is a basic feasible solution, it must have m plus n minus 1 number of non-zero solution, non-zero basic variables. So that is the requirement. So if it is less than that, there is some problem. So we will discuss what will the problem and how do you solve that sort of problem. The step 1, use the simplex optimality condition to determine the entering variable as the current non-basic variable that can improve the solution. If the optimality condition is satisfied by all the non-basic variables, the current solution is optimal and we stop, otherwise we go to step 2. I am repeating again. Use the simplex optimality condition to determine the entering variable as the current non-basic variable that can improve the solution. If the optimal condition is satisfied by all the non-basic variable, the current solution is optimal and we stop, otherwise we go to step 2. So the transportation problem is a minimization type problem. So earlier we were solving linear programming problem, always maximization type. If it is minimization type, we multiply minus sign and we try. Okay. So generally we solve maximization type problem. Here the transportation problem itself is a minimization type problem. So as you know, so in the simplex table, the optimality condition, we say that when the Zj minus Cj all are non-negative, greater than or equal to 0, that is optimal for the maximization type problem. For the minimization type problem, if it is all the Zj minus Cj, they are less than or equal to 0, then it is optimal. Okay. So actually it is a minimization type problem. So it has to fulfill the Zj minus Cj must be, instead of greater than or equal to 0, it should be less than or equal to 0. So this is the thing we'll check. So here there is no direct checking. So we have to use the dual variables to check this condition. Step 2. Determine the leading variable using the simplex feasibility condition. Change the basics and go to step 1. The determination of the entering variable among the current non-basic variable is done by the method of Lagrange multipliers. Okay. So this I have already discussed. So again I am repeating. In this transportation problem, the method of multipliers we associate with each row. The method of multipliers are known as the dual variables. The method of multipliers we associate for each row a dual variable that is called also multiplier. Namely, it is ui. I varies from 1 to m. Similarly, for each column we associate a dual variable that is vj, that is j varies from say 1 to n. So altogether n plus n number of dual variables. These dual variables generally for the equally type constant, the transportation problem has equally type constants. So the dual variables ui and vj for all I and j are free variables. Since they are free variables, it can take positive value, it can take negative value, it can take 0 value. There is no restriction here. So what do we find? So for the transportation problem, so we have a dual problem. This dual problem has, m plus n number of dual variables. Then how many dual constants are there? Altogether, m into n number of dual constants. So what is the dual constants represents? The dual constants are something like ui plus vj minus cij, this. So or this is less than or equal to 0, or you can write ui plus bj less than equal to cij. So ui plus bj is less than equal to cij, or you can write ui plus bj minus cij, which is less than equal to 0. So this actually is known as zij minus cij. What is zij? Zij is nothing but ui plus bj. Okay, this you have to use. Since, see, we have already, so in this transportation problem where we are finding the phase 1 solution, there are m plus n minus 1 number of non-zero decision variables xij. With respect to this decision variable xij, we have a constraints. So since the decision variable is non-zero, so we have something like ui plus bj equal to cij. So I have already told ui plus bj minus cij into xij equal to 0. So if xij is not equal to 0, then ui plus bj equal to cij. So this is one equation. In this equation, our unknown is ui and bj. Ui and bj are the unknowns, and cij is the cost coefficient given in the transportation problem. So this type of equations, there are altogether m plus n minus 1. As a result, we have, so our dual variables altogether we have, so m plus n. So we have m plus n minus 1 equation. So one of the equation we must arbitrarily select to 0 or 1 or minus 1, anything. So to determine all these dual variables ui plus bj, we arbitrarily choose one of them 0 and proceed. Okay. So in this manner, we find all the dual variables. One of the dual variables will select 0 and proceed. Okay. So then we check whether, so for the non-basic variable, basic variable with the basic variable we are naming, let us say xij the basic variable, non-basic variable which you are setting 0, xij equal to 0. So with respect to that cell we have the duality constants. That duality constant equal to ui plus bj less than equal to cij. So means ui plus bj minus cij has to be less than equal to 0. In case for the non-basic variables, we are finding ui plus bj minus cij instead of less than equal to 0, either it is greater than equal to 0, it can be equal to 0 also. If it is greater than equal to 0, then it is a positive. So we will find how many such cell giving positive value. So after calculating the positive value, we will select the most positive value. So instead of most negative, we will consider the most positive value among all the non-basic variables. So we consider a maximum type transportation problem instead of most positive, it is the most negative will select. So see, generally our transportation problem is minimization type. In case we are considering maximization type, we have to consider most negative element instead of most positive element. We do this on the transportation table itself. So no separate calculation is required. So now we'll come to the example. This problem already we have taken and we have got the phase 1 solution. Phase 1 solution. So what is this problem? I am repeating again. All you are able to hear? Hello? Presently we are just, I am showing the slide number 28. So out of 40. So all you are able to see the slide and you are able to hear? Hello? Are you able to hear? Hello? Why no reply? Okay. See, this transportation problem, there are three different sources. What are the sources? That is the with respect to three different sources, source 1, source 2, source 3. And with respect to three different sources, our supply 5 unit, then 2 unit, then 3 units. Altogether, there are say 10 unit. So three different demand points. At the first demand points, the requirement is 3 unit. At second demand point, the requirement is 3 unit. The third demand point, the requirement 2 unit. And the fourth demand point requires 2 units. Altogether 10 units. So this supply is 10 units and the requirement is 10 units. So it is a balanced transportation problem. And whatever you are seeing in the transportation matrix, something like say 3, 7, 6, 4 in the first row. In second row, 2, 4, 3, 2. In third row, 4, 3, 8, 5. These are the cost coefficient, namely Cij. Something like C11 equal to 3, C12 equal to 7, C13 equal to 6, C14 equal to 4, then C21 equal to 2, C22 equal to 4, C23 equal to 3, C24 equal to 2. Then for the last row, we have C31 equal to 4, C32 equal to 3, C33 equal to 8, and C34 equal to 5. This. So using the least cost method, using the northwest corner rule, we have already allocated. What is the allocation? In the first row, you can see two numbers are there, 3 and 2, both are encircled. Are you able to hear? Hello? Hello? Are you able to hear? Anybody? Are you able to hear? Shivam? Hello? Are you able to hear? Okay. So in first row, we have 3 and 2. These are two allocated cell, 3 and 2. That is the first cell and second cell. In second row, you know, the second cell and third cell, these are the allocated cell. In the third cell and the fourth cell, these are the allocated cell. Altogether, there are 6 allocated cells. The allocated cells are, C11 with respect to cell 11, cell 12, cell 22, cell 23, then we have cell 33, then cell 34. These are the 6 allocated cells. Now, with respect to this allocated cell, we are interested to find the parameters, the dual variables. The dual variables are U1, U2, U3, B1, B2, B3, B4. There are 7 dual variables, and as you know, there are 6 allocated cells. So 7 variable, 6 allocated cell, 1 shortage. So due to 1 shortage, one of them we are selecting 0. We are naming, let us say U1 equal to 0. So with respect to cell 11, U1 plus B1 equal to 3. U1 plus B1 equal to 3. So U1 plus B1 equal to 3. If you set U1 equal to 0, then B1 is becoming 3. Now, with respect to cell, say 1, 2, we have here U1 plus B2, U1 plus B2 equal to 7. Since you have set already U1 equal to 0, our V2 equal to 7. Now, in similar manner, we are computing. So the dual variables U2 and V2, U2 and V2. So as you know, it is given U2 plus V2, U2 plus V2, this is equal to 4. U2 plus V2 equal to 4. So it is already given V2 equal to 7. Since V2 equal to 7, our U2 equal to -3. So next we are going to the cell C, that is cell second row, third column. So cell 2, 3. So with respect to cell 2, 3, we have U2 plus V3, U2 plus V3. So U2 plus V3 equal to 3. So since we have U2 equal to -3, our V3 equal to 6. So then we are moving to cell 3, 3. We have U3 plus V3 equal to 8. U3 plus V3 equal to 8. So since V3 already equal to 6, we have U2 equal to 2. Then we have next cell, that is U3 plus V4, U3 plus V4 equal to 5. So U3 equal to 2, so our V4 equal to 3. So we have got the value of the 7 multipliers, the dual variables. The dual variables are U1, U2, U3, V1, V2, V3, V4. So we have got U1 equal to 0, V2 equal to 3. Then we have U1 equal to 0, U2 equal to -3, U3 equal to 2. Similarly, V1 equal to 3, V2 equal to 7, V3 equal to 6, V4 equal to 3. Now, what is the next step? We are interested to check whether the given solution is optimal or not. If it is optimal, then for the non-basic variable cell other than the 6th cell, so out of, see, altogether we have 12 cell, 3 into 4, 12 cell, 6 we have allocated, another 6 are left out. We'll check for all. If you find UI plus Vj minus Cij is less than or equal to 0, then it is optimal. If you find UI plus Vj is becoming greater than 0, so it is not optimal. If it is less than or equal to 0, it is optimal. If it is greater than 0, it is not optimal. So with respect to this positive value, we will select the most positive value. Now see here, with respect to first row, I am calculating. So U1 equal to 0. So V3 equal to 6. So 0 plus 6 equal to 6. 6 minus 6. 6 minus 6 equal to 0. So it can be 0, it can be negative, it can be positive. If it is positive, it is not fulfilled. If it is 0 or negative, it is fulfilled. So it is fulfilled because it is 0. Next, so U1 plus V4, U1 plus V4, so -4. So U1 plus V4, 3 minus 4 equal to -1. It is negative, it is fulfilled. Then we are coming to this cell that is second row and first column. So our U2 equal to -3, V1 equal to 3, -3 plus 3 equal to 0, 0 minus 2 equal to -2, that is also fulfilled. Now, so we are checking the second row and fourth column. So with respect to this, U2 equal to -3, V4 equal to 3. So -3 plus 3 equal to 0. So 0 minus 2, this is -2. This is also negative. This is fulfilled. Now only two cells are left out. That is third row and first column. Are you able to hear? Hello? Hello? Are you able to hear? So, is there any problem? Hello? Okay. So with respect to the third row and first column, so U2 equal to 2, U3 equal to 2, and V1 equal to 3. Then we have 3 plus 2 equal to 5, 5 minus 4 equal to 1, that is positive. So that is not fulfilled. Next, that is U3 plus V2. U3 equal to 2, V2 equal to 7. So 5 plus 2, 7. 7 minus 3. So 7 is 2 plus 7, it is 9. 9 minus 3. So equal to 6. So you see there is one positive quantity, this is 1. Another is 6. The most positive is 6. So we got the most positive element here, that is the 6. So with respect to the most positive element, so this is the entering variable. So that is entering variable equal to X32, third row and second column. This is the entering variable. Okay. So then we are interested to, once you have got the entering variables, then we are interested to find the leaving variable. Hello students, are you able to hear? Hello? Hello? Are you able to hear? What is the problem? Hello? Are you able to hear? Why there is no reply? We are interested to find the leaving variable. We first construct a closed loop. So that starts and ends at the entering variable cell. The loop consisting of connected horizontal and vertical segment only. No diagonals are allowed except for the entering variables. Each vertex or each corner of the closed loop must correspond to a basic variable cell. This loop can cross itself and bypass one or more basic variable. The amount what we are allocating theta to the entering variable cell is such that it satisfies all the demand and supply restriction and must be non-negative. Usually theta is the minimum of the amount allocated to the basic cells adjacent to the entering variable cell. Having decided about the amount theta to be allocated to the entering cell for the supply and demand limits to remain satisfied, we must alternate between subtracting and adding the amount theta at the successive corner of the loop. This process this process of one basic variable will drop to 0. In simplex language, we say that the leaving variable is this variable is the leaving variable which leaves the basis. We repeat this process till optimality is reached. We illustrate with a numerical example. Okay, this. Now we see here. So we have already decided. So cell 32, the entering variable with basic variable. So the entering variable is our x32 because this gives the most positive elements because which is not fulfilled, that is ui plus vj, so minus cij. This is becoming positive, that is becoming 6. With respect to this 6, we have got the most positive element. Only two positives are there. One is first one is 1, second one is 6. Now with respect to this, we form a loop. So this theta is the entering variable. So by joining horizontal and vertical lines, so see theta, from theta this is 1 is a allocated cell. Then next the right, that is also allocated cell. Then this one is also allocated. Among 3, so out of the 4 corners, one of the corner is the entering variables and these 3. So one of them with the departing variables. We have to decide which will be the departing variables. So now this theta we are naming as plus theta. Then next one minus theta, then plus theta, then minus theta, then plus theta. Okay, plus theta, minus theta, then plus theta, minus theta. Minus means we must reduce, plus means we must increase. So which is plus theta, that so cell value must increase, and which is negative, that must reduce. So plus minus, you see here 1, 1, all are 1, all 3 are 1. So how much we can reduce? We can reduce, say 1 unit you can reduce. So how much we can increase? We can increase also 1 unit. So 2 units you are reducing, 2 units you are increasing. So this one which is minus 1, that is becoming 0. This one is becoming plus 2. This one is becoming 0 and this theta is becoming presently 1. So which is 0 among 2, one of them will be our, this is a basic variable, one of them will be non-basic variables. So we can decide, say at a times we can only, one is entering, one variable is entering, one will leave. You cannot leave 2 variables. Even there are 2 zeros, so only one of them we can make 0. So in this manner, so this theta become 1, and the process both basic variable x22 and x33 will become simultaneously 0. Since only one of them should leave the basis, we make x22 leave the, so must leave the basis and keep x33 in the basis, but the value is 0. Thus the transportation cost is reduced by 6 units. So as the x23 increases by 1, we say 1 iteration is over, resulting new table is the next slide. Okay, so I am repeating again. So this is the cell, this one with respect to x22, and this is the cell, say that is the one with respect to 33. This cost is 4, this cost is 8, this cost is 4, this is 8. So certainly we prefer 4 than 8 because the minimum cost is 4. So this is the thumb rule. So wherever is minimum, that must be taken first. So this 4 is minimum. So we are selecting this 4, not this. Okay. So now after setting this, so we have decided the basic variable and non-basic variable. So presently the basic variables with respect to cell 11, cell 12, then we have cell 23, then cell 32, cell 33, cell 34. So altogether, as I told, there will be altogether in this problem, so there will be 6 basic variable. Okay, so 6 basic m plus n minus 1, 6 basic variables, and 6 basic variables and 6 non-basic variables. With respect to the 6 basic variables, say we have to calculate the dual variable again. The dual variables, what we calculate, they are u1, u2, u3, v1, v2, v3, and v4. So the same rule, if you calculate the dual variables, u1 is becoming 0, u2 is becoming minus 9, u3 is becoming minus 4, v1 equal to 3, v2 equal to 7, v3 equal to 12, v4 equal to 9. Okay, so now with respect to the dual variables, we have to calculate whether the solution is optimal or not. So if it is not optimal, whether we can improve or not. So we have to again check whether ui plus vj minus cij is becoming negative for all the non-basic variable cell or not. If it is becoming less than or equal to 0, then it is fine. If it is becoming positive, then we have to repeat the process in similar manner. So we calculate. So after calculating, we check. Say what is the difference between ui plus vj minus cij. So we find with respect to cell 1, 3, that is the positive value we are finding, that is 6. With respect to cell 1, 4, so ui plus vj minus cij, this is becoming 5. Then for the second row, all are fulfilled, and for the third row, all are fulfilled. So among these, we got one is 6, another is 5. So most positive is 6. So again, we form a loop. So the theta is the entering variable. So theta is the entering variable. So theta with respect to cell x13, that is the entering variable. Now we have to check which is the departing variables. So we have to make a closed loop. Theta is plus theta, then minus theta, 2 is minus theta, then 1 is plus theta, then 0. So it is minus theta. So something like theta plus theta minus theta plus theta minus theta. So among this theta, as you know, so which is negative, the negative value, so it's 2 and 0, minimum value is 0. So that 0, we must, so this theta, this is the allocated cell. So this is becoming 0 and there is no change. So what is happening? So as a result, so this cell number C13, that theta, so that allocation is becoming 0, and in the other corner there is 0. That is a non-basic variables, as you know, because that value was 8. So 8 is more than 7. 7 and 8, 2 are there. So we have to exclude 8 because that is the most positive. So most positive means it is the cost is more. So here, so we have to drop this one. After dropping, we have something like theta is becoming 0. Our x32 means, so this value 32, second row, third row, and so this one, this is becoming 0. theta is becoming 0 and x2, 3, 2 will leave the basis again. So this basic feasible solution is degenerate, but the transportation cost remains same, and we say that second iteration is over, the resulting new table on the next slide. So what do we do further? So this is not optimal because so earlier solution, whatever we have seen, this is not optimal. So in this case, so we have to again check what are the 4 allocation. 3, 2, 0 in the first row, 3, 2, 0 was I encircled. Then second row there is 2. Then the third row 1 and 2, altogether 6. So with respect to this 6, so we have to find the dual variables. So the dual variables are u1, u2, u3, b1, b2, b3, b4. After calculating the dual variables, we check. So ui plus vj minus cij. So what is happening? So with respect to the first row, so you see the cell number 114. This value is becoming positive. Then we have simply, you can see here, cell number C24, it is becoming positive. That is 5. First one was 5, second one is 4, and rest are negative. So as a result, this theta, so this, this variable x14 is the entering variable. So we have to check what is happening to this. So with respect to, we are drawing the horizontal and vertical lines. So the theta is plus theta, then 2, that is minus 2, then plus 1, so minus 2. So among this negative, that is minimum value is 2, so that is reduced, and that same amount is increased. As a result, this 2 becoming 0, and this 2 becoming, say, also 0, and this theta is becoming 2, and the 1 becoming 2 here. So which one we should drop? The 7 and 5. So the 7 is the more and 5 is less. So we have to drop the cell, the 7. So wherever the cost is 7, and we proceed. So as a result, we have here this is the value here. So we have got the solution. So the solution is something like 3, 0, 0, 2, 2, 3. These are the value of the basic variables. And what is given here? So it is given, this problem has also the alternate optimal solution. Why? Why alternate optimal solution is there? Because if you find ui plus vj minus cij is becoming 0. So as I've already mentioned in the simplex table, if you find zj minus cj, that element is becoming 0 sometimes, and there is a iteration, further iteration, then the alternate optimal solution may be possible. So here, so since there is a 0, this say that the alternate optimal solution is also possible. Okay, this. Hello students, are you able to hear? Hello? Hello?